Assalamu alaikum students. So we have to start with the uses of washing soda. Last we have seen with the preparation of the washing soda. Now we are going to start with the uses of washing soda. Sodium carbonate, that is your washing soda, is used in glass, soaps and paper industries. Number 2, it is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. Dear student, in the higher classes like 11th, 12th, you will come to know more about the borax. What is borax, how it is prepared and how are the properties and so on. Sodium carbonate can be used as a cleaning agent for domestic purpose. We are able to use it as a cleaning material also. Okay. It is used for removing the permanent hardness of the water. Dear student, if we talk about the particular hardness, let me tell you, there are certain salt which are present in the water which makes the water hard. So when you go for using the soaps over there with that kind of the water, no leather will produce, and if you use the detergent, somewhat leather can be produced. So that is because of the salt present in the water, which can be removed with the use of the washing soda. So you can go for removing the hardness of the water. Okay, this were the uses of the washing soda. Now, are the crystals really dry? So dear student, if we talk about any particular materials, we are having the crystals of the salt. So the question arises, are the crystals really dry? This question can be framed from the molecular formula of your washing soda. What was the molecular formula of the washing soda? Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. 10H2O means 10 times the water. So do you think the salt would be wet when you go for touching that particular, when you touch it, do you feel it wet? So the answer is no. Though you have 10 moles of water, the salt is not wet. So question arises, why does it happen so? When you take such a kind of the salt in the test tube and when you heat it, you'll able to see the water droplets on the sides of the test tube edges, which shows that the salt was containing the water. It means it was such a kind of the salt which has the water is known as hydrated salt or hydrated compound. Okay. When we remove that water completely, it is called anhydrous. Removal of the water from any particular is called anhydrous. But let me tell you, what is that water called which is present in the salt and still your material is not wet? Dear student, that water is called water of crystallization. That is called water of crystallization. For example, you are given with so many examples. Example number 1 is your washing soda, where you are writing Na2CO3 10H2O. So 10H2O, 10 times water of crystallization is there. When you are writing your copper sulfate solution, copper sulfate crystal, CuSO4 dot 5H2O. So 5 moles of water is your water of crystallization. So you have to remember that is water of crystallization, which is very important. Acha. Does there any effect if we remove the water of crystallization? Yes. The answer is yes. If we remove the water of crystallization, sometimes the color of your material changes. For example, CuSO4, copper sulfate 0.5H2O. That is, when you are having this formula, your salt is blue in color. But when you heat it and when you remove this 5 moles of water, dear student, your CuSO4 will be colorless. It will be completely colorless. It means it is used for the detection of the materials also. You will be studying this in the higher classes. So dear student, it is very important to understand the topic, that is water of crystallization. Here 2 examples are given. You can search more example and you can write in your notes also. The last topic, that is plaster of Paris. Dear student, plaster of Paris is prepared from the gypsum. So you need to understand what is the molecular formula of gypsum. Gypsum's molecular formula is CaSO4 dot 2H2O. So I can say, or we can say, that this is the third example where we have the water of crystallization. How many moles? 2 moles. Okay, when we heat it, that is gypsum, CaSO4.2H2O, when we heat it and when you remove 1.5 moles of water, means how much only will be remaining with CaSO4? Only 0.5, that is half. Dear student, this chemical formula is called plaster of Paris. CaSO4.1 by 2 water, that is half mole of water, that is called your plaster of Paris. Dear student, what is the use of plaster of Paris? We are using it for making the designs in the ceiling. It is also used by the orthopedics. You are able to see that when there is any fracture, so doctors are using the bandage over it, and which is very hard, white color substance. So what they are using? They are using plaster of Paris powder. They are dropping the water, making the paste, and then they apply it, okay, wherever the fracture is there in the body. So I hope you are getting the topic clear. Here we end with the chapter, and still if you have any doubts, any queries, you can ask in the comment section. The plaster of Paris uses, which I said, those are limited uses I have given, but you can find out the more uses. For example, not only in ceilings, but the plaster of Paris is also used for preparing the pots, for keeping the flowers and so on. So dear student, you can get the additional things, you can search it and you can go for writing it off. Still, if you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. Here our revision is over. So from our next video, we may be starting with the new chapter.